Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my co-owner and commentary, Ashton. And this is our Lucha Underground review. And I gotta say, I love tonight's Lucha Underground. I thought it had a stellar main event that I had a lot of fun with. Another match in the middle of the show that, I thought in ring was actually really good. Got to see the athleticism of one of my favorite guys. And narratively, in the aftermatch, we got a very exciting matchup set for Ultima Lucha Trace. And speaking of Ultima Lucha Trace, I think we had a lot of progress on the whole towards that event in, I believe, 4 weeks' time, they said tonight. So, yeah, I thought this was a productive episode of Lucha Underground. Not too meaty in terms of cinematics. It was more focused on the in-ring tonight and stories taking place, in the temple in that way. But, yeah, I had a lot of fun with this episode, and it ended with me just smiling. Like, I felt so good after watching this. So, partner, what do you think about tonight's episode?
Yeah, man, tonight's episode was fun. It definitely, you can tell that we are on the road to Ultima Lucha, because we are at the point now where it's really starting to feel very much like a focused show. We're not getting these overarching storylines that we've had for the last month or two, like the Cueto Cup, Johnny Mundo's title reign, all that bigger stuff. Everything is starting to feel much more centralized and localized. And tonight, we got very much that kind of story being told over 3 different segments.
Yes, I completely agree with you. With that said, do you have any other preliminary remarks you want to make before we get into this?
I don't think so. Let's get into it, man.
All right, let us get right into our Lucha Underground review. And, brother, how do we open this baby up?
We open this baby up with Dario Cueto getting up in Matanza's little cell area and basically telling Matanza, hey, man, Rey Mysterio got physical with me last week, so now I'm sorry I ever doubted you, but you need to go F this guy's face up.
Yeah. Cueto pretty much saying after Rey Mysterio 619'd him last week, hey, Matanza, destroy him. And yeah, I mean, Cueto completely changing his tone, which what a brilliant way to weave the narrative. You have Rey, who hands Matanza his first loss, in Aztec Warfare. He was Lucha Underground champion at the time, which, created the pathway for Sexy to win the title, and then the rest, as they say, is history. Matanza then subsequently, in response to his first loss and losing the title with it, destroys Rey Mysterio. Then he just seems like he's spiraling, so Cueto locks him away. But now there is a means that only Matanza can fulfill for Cueto. So Cueto's just saying, all right, I got it all wrong. Let's sick him on Rey. But just how all these things come together, I think is just so brilliantly done. Par for the course for Lucha Underground. But, man, I love it. So what do you think about this cinematic?
This is really cool, and I definitely am on the same page with you as far as being in awe at how well Lucha Underground ties everything together. Because I just love that we go from Matanza is this dominant champion. Rey pins him in a match. Matanza freaks the hell out and beats the shit out of Rey. And Matanza is just on this warpath to wanting to kill Rey. And then Matanza, because Rey isn't around, he redirects his attention to Rey's prodigy in Azteca. Rey shows up. Matanza sees red, ends up getting thrown through a building. Cueto is just like, you know what? No, you brought dishonor to the Cueto name, so you're just going to stay locked up forever now. And now, though, the whole story with Johnny Mundo and Rey Mysterio is overlapping into it because Mundo told Cueto, hey, man, you need to know, if I lose unfairly to Rey Mysterio, I am taking the title and I am leaving the company. And Cueto saw that as like, well, oh, shit, I can't let that happen. So when freaking Dominic, the ungrateful little brat, shows up and tries to attack Johnny Mundo, it cost him the championship. Cueto's obligation as a professional promoter is to ensure that Johnny Mundo does not lose the championship due to Dominic's interference. So, of course, he has to get physical with Rey. And Rey, being this hot-blooded, angry guy that he is, ends up retaliating. This is the promoter. You need to just take it and realize that he's doing to you what your son just did to your opponent and win fairly. But no, Rey attacks back. He takes down Cueto. And now Cueto says, oh, well, guess what? You just signed your death warrant. I'm sicking my brother on you. And he already wanted to kill you, so have fun dealing with that.
And see, here's the thing, because we've seen storylines like this before, but again, here's where Lucha Underground is like a step above, because if this was the WWE and somebody was doing this against Vince McMahon, it's like, yeah, it's bad enough that you're doing it against the guy that owns all of this and by extension has all the resources and everything, but in the end, Vince always says, well, who's a greater threat than me? And he tries dealing with this directly. Cueto's like, nah, man, fuck that shit. I've got this monster here, this god using my baby brother as a human vessel that I can sick on Ray anytime I want. I'm doing it. And that's what I love about it. Cueto's not going to get his hands dirty directly. That's never been his style. That's never been his MO. He's got Matanza literally under lock and key, and he could just unleash him anytime he needs it. And this was that time tonight, saying, you know what, Matanza, go after Ray, and again, destroy him. So I love this cinematic. I thought it was wonderful. I got nothing else to say than that. Unless you have anything else you want to add, we can move on.
Let's move on. So up next, we had our first match of the night, Son of Madness versus Mascarita Sagrada.
Not a bad match. You know, Mascarita, what I love about Mascarita is he's that performer that you're probably like, oh, he's just comedy or this and that. And yeah, you can do maybe comedy spots here and there, but he's actually legitimately sound in the ring and entertaining to watch. You know, him and Son of Madness had a good back and forth. Ultimately, though, Son of Madness does win after what, you know, can be presumed to be a brain buster. You know, he caught Mascarita, he drove him down, he got the win. This was Son of Madness' second match in the Temple, but it turns out he wouldn't be done for the night because Havoc would come out, given that he has beef with Madness, given that they were, you know, once running buddies, you know, in the same gang, and then Havoc left, you know, to take on the open road, and Madness retaliated by like, well, nobody leaves the club, and he took Havoc's cut. So there's a deep history there. Havoc trying to get a measure of revenge. Meanwhile, while that's going on, Paul London comes out of nowhere, he scoops up Mascarita, and he takes him away. And Havoc and Madness are brawling, then Cueto comes out and he says, hey, you know, it's clear that you two want a piece of each other, so let's make that happen. In tonight's main event, it's going to be Son of Havoc. It's going to be Son of Madness. I'll even throw an Aztec medallion into the deal, so it's going to be an Aztec medallion match. Winner goes to Gift of the Gods. And on top of that, it's going to be a Boyle Heights biker brawl. So that's our main event set for tonight. So again, solid match, but the story here was really the post-match. Don't know if we're going to get a cinematic follow-up next week on where exactly Paul London took Mascarita. Which could be interesting in itself.
Took him to the shrine that he belongs in so that the rabbit tribe can properly worship their god.
Seems legit. And also I'm just so hyped for the main event, you know, Son of Havoc versus Son of Madness. I'm loving this little feud that they've got. Lucha Underground has so many feuds like in the undercard that I am just loving right now, and this is definitely one of them. Do you have any remarks that you want to make about the match, or more importantly, the post-match, since, again, that's where a lot of the meat came from?
Yeah, I don't really have a lot to say about the match itself because I was really struggling to even see it. As far as the post-match goes, obviously we just got this big announcement, like, yeah, the main event. I was able to see the main event, which was great, and we'll talk about that later. But as far as this first match goes, I don't have anything to add, so let's move on. Up next, we've got Marty the Moth versus Arhenis.
Yeah, Marty the Moth creeping on Melissa yet again. And I'll tell you what, man, like, if it wasn't for the main event being so good, because Madness and Havoc killed it in their biker brawl, this would have been my match of the night. You know, I'm not big on Arhenis. Obviously, I'm a huge Marty the Moth fan. Like, the guy just does it for me in terms of character and how he is in ring. And he really got to show off his athleticism here. There were two moments that Marty had. I mean, not counting his finisher, because I adore his finisher, what it is now, that double arm underhook, inverted lung blower. But he had two moments of athleticism where I'm like, God damn, Marty's a freak. Like, we've already seen this guy fly over the top rope like, you know, The Undertaker would at times, like at a big WrestleMania or whatever, where it's like, oh, Moth flapping its wings. But he got one boot to Arhenis, almost looked like a Yakuza kick to me, just with like the angle, and just took his face off. It was beautiful. And then he got a drop kick where I'm like, the leap, it was right on the button. I'm like, damn, Marty holding out on us. So yeah, I thought he looked brilliant in this. Arhenis, though, to his credit, he got some fun offense as well. But this was really a match to me, and where I give Lucha Underground credit, they clearly want to make Marty seem like this menacing threat to Phoenix. And as if him stabbing Phoenix in the head with a fork repeatedly didn't do the job, you put him in the ring with a guy like Argenis to show what he can do. Like, he had another moment where I feel like Argenis wanted a lucha-style arm drag, and Marty just kind of holds him up in the air and just slams him down, you know, by the arm on the canvas. It was just really a great outing for Marty. And, yeah, he ultimately wins the match after, by the way, tearing at Argenis' mask and busting him open bad, because Marty's arm and, like, part of his chest was wearing Argenis' blood in the latter half of the matchup. But Marty does ultimately win with, again, the double arm underhook, inverted lung blower. After the match, he gets on the mic, he goes, "Hi, Melissa." I said, "Hi, Melissa." And, you know, pretty much asks her, "Did you like what I did?" And, you know, I should also note that he took Argenis' mask. So he took his blood, he took his mask, he took the win, and he says, "I don't care about Argenis' mask. I want Phoenix's mask. I want to show you and I want to show the world how ugly Phoenix really is." Phoenix is perched on the top rope. He starts to go after Marty. They have a little bit of a skirmish. Phoenix stands tall. Melissa even talks a little bit.
I know. I thought it's dumb. It's really dumb because she always talks. She's the only character other than Cueto that talks on every single episode because she's the freaking ring announcer. But her basically cutting a promo is not something we've ever seen before in Lucha Underground.
Right. And she says, "You really think you could take Phoenix's mask?" I don't. And so it almost seemed like she was accepting the challenge on behalf of Phoenix, but then Phoenix takes the mic. He says a lot of stuff in Spanish, and the only reason I'm saying it like that is there were no subtitles provided, which is a weird occurrence.
Yeah, what the hell, Lucha Underground? What happened to subs?
Yeah, they were so good about that in the early seasons, and now here, like, it just was nowhere to be found. But it's inconsequential because the important thing to take away here, Phoenix does say in English, "Ultima Lucha Trace, Marty the Moth versus Phoenix, Phoenix's mask versus Marty's hair." I'm giddy for this match, dude. Honestly, save for the world title main event for obvious reasons because it's a feud I adore with a champion I adore. This may be my most anticipated match on the Ultima Lucha Trace card. Like,
are you anticipating this more than Katrina Ivelisse?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about it for sure, but we did see Phoenix versus Marty in the Cueto Cup, so it's not even the first time we're seeing this match.
And that's true, but then again, when Angle and Edge had their hair versus hair match at Judgment Day, which was my first exposure to a match like this, it wasn't their first encounter either. But now it's just got more meat on the bone, which I can appreciate. Look, if you're going to get in the ring,
like it's probably going to go 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I don't mind a person getting in the ring with somebody multiple times, but I think each time you should up the stakes.
Like, yeah, and they did, for sure. Yeah, they definitely did.
Yeah, and stakes don't get any higher than mask versus hair. And like I told you in live reactions and what I'll reiterate here, what I love about this is it's a win-win for Lucha Underground because either you have Phoenix lose and you get Marty a shit ton of heat and you take a very interesting turn with the Phoenix character, or you go, admittedly, the more conservative route, but where that's okay is that I feel like Marty would be even more menacing bald, and I know he would embrace it and make it just another part of his character. Hell, for him, he would probably turn it into some kind of character transformation, feeling deformed or whatever. I mean, maybe not exactly like an undashing Cody Rhodes, maybe something like that, but on steroids. You know, like I just feel like they can't lose here, regardless of where they go. And I've never been a fan of Phoenix, like I also admitted on live reactions, but he's solid in ring. And I'm sorry, just my opinion, I feel like Marty's cooking on all cylinders right now. Like, he is doing some quality work. I think he's got everything right where he needs it right now. And yeah, I am so stoked for this match at Ultima Lucha Trace. So what did you think about the match with Argenis and really just the announcement that we're getting a mask versus hair match at Ultima Lucha?
Yeah, I mean, the match with Argenis was fine. It was definitely took longer for Marty to put Argenis away than I expected. But we said at the very beginning of the match, hashtag Marty's winning. And Marty won. So there wasn't really a ton to say as far as the match goes. But the angle between Marty and Phoenix is very intriguing to me. I absolutely love that we're going to be getting a match with such high stakes at Ultima Lucha between these guys. Because like I said, we have seen them in the Cueto Cup. And the stakes were high in the Cueto Cup. Let's not try and act like that was no big deal. We're still talking about a tournament where the winner main events Ultima Lucha for the title. Like, that's huge. But this is so much more personal because it's Phoenix's entire character versus Marty's identifying trait.
Yeah. And it's all because of a woman that Marty has taken issue with since essentially like he showed up in Melissa Santos. You know, and I love it. I love that Lucha Underground has got a storyline that really just makes the hair stand up on your arm and just makes you like, you know, Marty skeeves people out. I know he made you uncomfortable with the fork segment, whereas I ate that shit up. Like he's one of my favorite heels right now. And Phoenix, if there was ever a time,
dude, like Marty is one of those characters for me where like I absolutely adore the performer, but I hate the character.
Right, right.
And it's like heel hate. It's like oh my god, like I want this guy to get his ass kicked. I want this guy to lose. And that is like it's so much harder to get me to hate a character when I like the performer. And Marty is just that damn good that he's pulled that off.
Yeah, and here's the thing, too, to give Phoenix credit. If there was ever a place, if there was ever a storyline where his white knight babyface attitude works, I think this is the one. Because Marty is just such a creep and everything else. Like, of course you need somebody that's, you know, diametrically opposed, completely antithetical to how Marty is to oppose him, and you're not going to get any more antithetical than a guy like Phoenix. So I feel like this feud works, and I'm really looking forward to it. I really appreciated this segment, but I've said all I can about it, so unless there's anything you want to add, we can move on.
You know what? I don't actually want to add anything as far as the discussion regarding the Marty Phoenix thing goes, but I just want to let everyone know while it's on my mind, because I was going to probably forget about it by the end of the night. We're going to be going live with Q&A an hour earlier than usual tomorrow night. We're going to be going live at 7 because we have 80 questions. So we're going to be going live at 7 p.m. Eastern time instead of 8 p.m. Eastern time. It's just an hour earlier than we usually go live. I mean, if you were with us tonight in live reactions to Lucha Underground started at 8 p.m. Eastern time for us tonight. So an hour before then would have been when we started if we would have done Q&A tonight, but we're doing it tomorrow night. So yeah, just want to let everyone know while we're kind of in the middle of this review, because that's when the most people are here. And now we can move on. Up next, we had our third match of the night, Joey Ryan versus Sexy Star.
Not much to say about this match either. I mean, it was a solid bout, but I mean, really the big thing here was Taya comes out midway through with a Go Sexy Star sign, you know, acting.
Can I just point out the irony here, given all of the drama between these two IRL in Mexico now?
Yeah, I know, right? And yeah, you got Taya holding the sign up and everything. Doesn't really play a factor until towards the end of the match, where Sexy takes note of it. She does a senton to Taya, like from off the apron, you know, gets that running start and then does the senton. Then gets senton. Yeah, seated senton, and then gets back in the ring, gets met with a super kick from Joey Ryan. Joey Ryan gets the 3 count, and he wins the match. And then he tries sticking his lollipop in Sexy Star's mouth, and Cortez Castro comes out with a kendo stick, and he just wails on Joey Ryan with it. So, you know, that's that. So Joey Ryan beats Sexy Star. Sexy continues her beef with Taya, and Cortez Castro, a.k.a. Officer Reyes, continues his beef with Ryan. I really got nothing to say about this. I thought it was a quick match. It was definitely more about the narratives going on, again, between Sexy and Taya and Reyes and Ryan. So do you have anything you want to say about this?
No, but we do have immediately after this a segment in Cueto's office where Cueto makes Cortez Castro versus Joey Ryan next week in a 5-0 street fight, I think he called it.
Yeah, I'm assuming he did, because I think you and I were reacting, so I didn't pick up on everything, but I'm assuming that's what it was, and it is for an Aztec medallion. So,
yeah, the 5-0 street fight, and I mean, yeah, for a medallion, it's crazy. It's so good. Like, it's just one of those things where Cortez Castro really doesn't need to do this, but Cueto knows all the right buttons to push to convince him that it's the best thing to do.
Yeah, those are really the only 2 things I wanted to point out. One, Cueto once again steals the cinematic. I think it's been a while since we've talked about how good Cueto is. And this cinematic was just another reminder, because he's like, oh, I know you're a cop. I know Ryan's a cop. And I know you want to arrest me. But I know you love fighting, too. You can't fake that. And for an Aztec medallion, and I know how much you hate Joey Ryan, with all that stuff going on, don't you see I'm giving you an opportunity to show the entire force how strong Officer Reyes really is? Like, wrapping him around his finger, bruh. It's a thing of beauty. And can I say this, too, because this is something I just thought of, so it's not like I've been holding it in since live reactions. I love the story here, and I'm not even talking about the immediate story of, oh, Reyes hates Ryan and he's trying to get Cueto. Like, all those stories are great, but if you've been a long-time viewer of Lucha Underground, you know what a big deal this is, because when has Cortez Castro ever really shown up? Like, he was a part of the crew, he'd eat the pin. Did the stuff with Joey Ryan, sometimes they'd win, but mainly because Joey Ryan would steal stuff, but ultimately Castro would just eat the boot, so to speak. And if Castro wins, I mean, what a great Technico kind of story that this guy goes deep undercover, puts his life at risk, has really very little to show for it. And if he can beat Joey Ryan next week, he'll be within a heartbeat of the Gift of the Gods Championship, which by extension means he's within a heartbeat of the world title. So, like, yeah, if you really look at it from that perspective, at Cortez Castro's trajectory in the Temple from season 1 to now, this could be the biggest win of his career. And just like, wow, against a guy that he absolutely hates in Joey Ryan, you couldn't ask for any better than that. So I love that. Absolutely love that. So we'll see what happens next week.
Yeah, buddy. All right. Well, holy hell. I think that's the only thing left to talk about before we get to this main event, brother.
Yeah, the biker brawl, Son of Havoc versus Son of Madness. I'm going to be honest, and we've had a lot of stellar like main events this season. I think this is going to go down as one of my favorite main events of the season. This was so good. I love this match between these two. And here's the thing, too. I felt like Son of Madness really showed up in this.
Yeah.
Like, he did a slingshot, like, over the rope double stomp to Havoc that looked absolutely sick. They fought amongst the believers, literally. Like, there was one point where they were high up in the stands, and then there was another point where Havoc did a tope suicida to Madness, and Madness just collided into, like, so many believers. It was nuts. Like, this really felt like a legitimate brawl. Like, these guys were just beating the stuffing out of each other, and it was fucking great. You had Son of Madness at one point get a Death Valley driver on Havoc on a trash can. Like, the offense was so fun. Havoc is a joy to watch when he gets that, like, momentum-based offense, you know, with the springboard cross body and everything else. Madness is full of surprises for a guy that looks like he does. Got his brainbuster finish on Havoc, but Havoc actually kicked out, so it shows how resilient he is. And I love the finish here because Madness has a hammer. He wants to bash Havoc's head in, and he tries twice. Havoc keeps ducking, but then, you know, Havoc grabs a beer bottle, and he goes on the top rope. Madness, though, grabs the hammer again, so Madness is just charging, almost psycho-like, at Havoc. Havoc catches him, though, in the side of the head with the beer bottle. Madness collapses. Havoc gets the shooting star and the 3 count. I mean, this match was great. I feel like it had the kind of violence where it was never gratuitous because, you know, you didn't have anybody bleeding like a stuffed pig or anybody like that. It was just very high energy, very chaotic, very like punch it in the mouth kind of feel. And again, the believers got involved, which was amazing. I feel like this was Son of Madness' coming out party, and this is only his 3rd match in the Temple, but he took Havoc to the limit. Havoc winning was great because he's so freaking over. And again, if you're a longtime viewer, these are the rewards that you get because, especially if you were watching fairly recently as Season 2, you know that Havoc got screwed out of the main event of Ultima Lucha Trace, and he's been trying to find a way back ever since, and then he goes and he wins this match, so now he has a chance to be the Gift of the Gods champion. Like, it works on every level, and yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite main events of the season. Actually, I don't know how much you're going to be able to remark on it because I know you did have internet issues, but they seemed a bit better when we got to this match. So anything you want to say?
Yeah, this match, I would say 80+% of this match I was able to watch. This was really fun. I absolutely love this. I love that sort of Son of Havoc's move that he seems to really enjoy using more than anything is the double stomp because we saw him go for that, I think, 3 times in this match, and he successfully hit it twice. So he really loves that double stomp. And the double stomp off the barricade where he literally left shoe prints on Son of Madness's back, I think ended up being my favorite moment of this entire episode.
Yeah, that was such a cool freaking visual. And yeah, Son of Havoc, he wins the match. He celebrates with the medallion and taking his cut back. So that's the 2nd time he's beaten Madness.
That was a really cool moment, too. Him being able to get that vest back and be like, yeah, this is mine. I'm me again.
Exactly. And I don't know, after 2 straight wins over Son of Madness, I think you can call the feud over, but you never know with Lucha Underground. Like,
Yeah,
Son of Madness.
I don't know. Maybe it seems like it might be, but I'm curious to see where they go from here because I don't think they're done with each other.
It doesn't feel like it in a way. Like, I could easily see Madness come out and screw Havoc out of Gift of the Gods, because Havoc is a character built on sympathy. I mean, you could say that about most babyfaces, sure, but after everything he's been through, like, he's extra sympathetic, but without ever being obnoxious. So if this guy, again, would have another horrible Ultima Lucha memory, you know, at Dose he got screwed by Cueto and Dr. Wagner Jr. and all them. This year he could get screwed again by Son of Madness. I hope that doesn't happen, because looking at the field right now, I honestly can't wait for our Ultima Lucha preview and predictions, because Gift of the Gods will be one of those matches that I'll be really excited to talk about with you going forward. But yeah, I mean, I would love for Son of Havoc to be Gift of the Gods champion. I've been wanting him to get to that main event level really ever since season 1, when it was, you know, Team Havoc as trios champions, and I saw just how brilliant this guy really is. And yeah, this was a stupendous main event. I recommend everybody go see it. You know, if you can find any place where Lucha Underground's uploaded or anything like that, or, you know, go on iTunes and order the episode, you know, so you can support them at the same time. Because yeah, this was definitely, again, one of the better main events to me of the season. But I got nothing else to say than that. So unless you do, we can get right into our next segment.
Well, let's see. I'm trying to think of anything I might have to add. No, I don't really have anything, because, like, the only other thing that I wanted to talk about was him getting his cutback, and we both already kind of talked about that. So let's just move on. Next segment.
High spots and low shots. My low shots are Hennis. He lost a match and lost his mask.
We have a rough night tonight.
Yeah, lost his blood, lost the match, and lost his mask. So not a good night for our Hennis.
Damn, our Hennis takes more L's than the word lull.
Exactly. So nothing more I need to say than that. Who's your low shot?
My low shot tonight has got to be Son of Madness, because he got the win over Mascarita Sagrada, but then when push came to shove in his second match against the guy that he's supposed to be hunting down and not only trying to beat, but trying to kill, because he literally said he was going to bring Son of Havoc's head back to the gang. Yeah, he's lost twice now. And this was a much more kind of elongated, drawn-out match that you would have definitely expected the newer guy being able to pull out new tricks that the other guy's never seen before to win. But no, he is now 0-2 against Son of Havoc, and he lost his opportunity at an Aztec medallion.
Yes. So with that, my high spot gotta go with Son of Havoc, piggybacking off of that. Got his cutback and got an Aztec medallion, so he goes to Ultima Lucha Trace to be in the Gift of the Gods match. So yeah, again, nothing more you need to say than that. Who's your high spot?
My high spot's Dario Cueto, because next week he gets to make two cops fight each other over something that he owns.
I love it. I absolutely love it. That's perfect. You needn't say anything more than that. Do you have any concluding remarks about Lucha Underground tonight before I take us home?
No, but this has been a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to next week. Really, we're kind of at that point now where every week is just like, okay, yeah, sure, but let's get to Ultima Lucha. Because even though these episodes have been good, I know that Ultima Lucha is going to blow my freaking mind. And it feels like we're coasting until we get to that point.
Yeah, I can certainly see where you're coming from.
Now, let me also specify, when I say coasting, I don't mean like the show feels lazy by any means, because it's still like, holy shit, fun. But it's just like one of those things where like they're building everything to Ultima Lucha, and everything being done to build to it feels less like a more like big deal than Ultima Lucha will be itself. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like those weeks leading up to WrestleMania, man. Like, yeah, sure, I know you have to do your hype. That's cool and all, but I really just want to see these matches, you know?
Exactly. I'm right there with you. In due time, my friend, we will get to Ultima Lucha Trace. Until then, though, this has been Lucha Underground. This has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my core and commentary action. Guys, be sure to comment, subscribe, and like the video. The more likes you leave, the more likely we are to be the top search result for Lucha Underground reviews on YouTube. And when you're the best at what you do, the top is the only place that you belong. So please leave that like. Guys, you can find all of our Lucha Underground content in the description box, categorized by playlist. If you just want a general playlist, it's the All Lucha Underground Content Ever playlist. If you're looking for a more specific playlist, it's all right there in the description box, as is all of the media that TWitWoW is associated with. You'll find Twitters, Facebooks, Discord, Patreon, all that stuff, all in the description box. And speaking of which, I will now get to our plug portion of the outro. Patreon, of course, the big thing I'm plugging is the $3 Discord. That Discord is getting packed, and I love it. I want people to keep joining if they haven't already. It's only $3 a month, as I said. And the beautiful thing about that is you donate $3 a month. If you're a Discord member for 10 months, that accrues to $30. You can cash that in for a live reaction to a 3-hour show. I couldn't think of a better deal than that. And guys, if you donate this month and then you go into the month of September, that means you'll be a member of the Discord for when we cover shows like No Mercy, when Braun Strowman takes on Brock Lesnar, and other big events like that. So you know you're going to want to be a part of the Discord. It's a great, tight-knit community of TWitWoW's most passionate fans. Beyond that, the Teespring, 2 shirts I want to plug. On the one hand, Braun Strowman, I'm not finished with you! T-shirt. So if you want to tell any person, any obstacle, anything in your life that you're not finished with it, that is the T-shirt for you. But the newest article of TWitWoW merch that I think you guys are going to love, I think it's my coordinate commentary's best design yet. He made an Emma T-shirt, the true leader of the revolution, the true woman of the revolution. He did a great kind of look of Emma's face, sunglasses, and kind of her finger pose on the shirt. And yeah, it's amazing, guys. I would check it out. It's in a beautiful blue color. I've tweeted it at Emma. I still want her to acknowledge it because
you said it's in a beautiful blue color, and that is true, but there are so many other colors you can choose from. There are different shades of blue. There are purples. There are tan colors, white, gray, and there's even a light green in there if you want to go for the premium tee, which is like $3 extra. I personally think that the purple and that premium green are my favorite colors of the shirt.
I completely agree. And guys, I was trying to get exactly what the shirt said. It's the real face of the hashtag revolution. And then again, it's like Emma's face drawn expertly. I love how he got it with the gloved hand and the sunglasses. And
the funny thing though is that I didn't even use Emma's face. Like it's not Emma's face. It's sunglasses. Right. Yes, it's not even her sunglasses. I literally just Googled aviator sunglasses and used the ones that looked most like Emma's. And then I downloaded a new brush set on Photoshop that had lips, and I tried to find the ones that represented that were closest to Emma's, and I just made them like that dark purple shade because we know that Emma has been known to wear that. And then the glove, I used Emma's picture as reference, but I outlined it myself. Like I actually used like the pen tool in Photoshop to do the outline of the glove itself. So it's all custom artwork. It just resembles Emma. It's not actually her.
Right. I still think it's magnificently done all the same. So guys, if you're a leader, if you're a supporter, I should say, of the Evolution, if you support the leader of the Evolution, this is the shirt that you want. You no longer have to hashtag give Emma a shirt because my coordinate commentary here did, and he did it damn fine. So yeah, that's the Teespring. Only other thing I can really think to plug, guys, again, Q&A. We go live at 7 tomorrow because we got a fuck ton. Yes, a fuck ton of questions. And I think we're still going to get more even before we go live. So we'll be going live at 7 with that. And I will put out that you still have time to get your questions in because we're very liberal about the window. Like up until we go live, you're good to submit questions. I mean, there are people that submit questions very late. So, I mean, you still have time, but I wouldn't be lax about it. Get your questions in now if you haven't yet. You know the drill, guys. Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Discord if you're a member. Up to 4 questions per Q&A. You can divvy them up however you like, and you can ask pretty much anything unless we tell you otherwise. So, guys, that's it. No NXT review tonight. So it's fine, though, because you're going to be with us for like 4 hours tomorrow, which is why we're going on so early. Q&A is going to be massive. So we hope you enjoyed our Lucha Underground review tonight. And until then, guys, tune in and peace out.